What's going on, everybody? So, Terence Crawford, he is somebody that has been at the forefront of boxing news, I guess, in the last few weeks. From obviously going back to his defeat of Sean Porter, his basically his tenure at Top Rank, officially ending, and then the whopper with the lawsuit. His claims that there's racial bias as it concerns why he didn't land certain fights. And, there's obviously, a dollar sign attached as far as what Crawford's looking for. But we ultimately, beyond all that, okay, we're all eager to see what move now he makes, being that he's no longer under the Top Rank umbrella. And one thing I said from the very beginning, man, when we talk about this assumption that Crawford was going to leave Top Rank and then walk into Al Heyman's office and a little link there, walk into Al Heyman's office and say, "Hey, man, I'm available. Sign me, please." I don't think people really understand that. Again, not to say this for the 15th, 16th time, but Al Heyman, technically is not a promoter. You hear his name a lot, right? And when people, when these fighters are, thank you to Al Heyman, Al Heyman is an advisor, okay? By technical standards, he's not a promoter. So Terence Crawford going to Al Heyman is essentially him going to seek another manager or a financial advisor, because that's ultimately what Al Heyman is. And he does a damn good job of it as it concerns putting his fighters, following boxing, putting them in good situations, okay? Now, when you talk about the paradigm the PBC's created, let's see how that persists in this next fiscal year. But that's a whole nother video. But the point I made back some time ago was people had this idea that Crawford would just go to Al Heyman and Al Heyman would accept him with open arms. But like I had made mention last week, here you have Tim Smith, who is the promoter by proxy for the PBC. And this is somebody, again, who is in charge as far as the promotion of the PBC, whether it's on Fox, whether it's on Showtime. Yet, why aren't we hearing any calls to Terence Crawford if he's available to acquire his services? Right? Remember that was the talk? So when we talk about the idea that, he was going to get this Errol Spence fight as soon as he was off of Top Rank, I was telling people, I go, don't bet the house on that. Because I'll tell y'all, man, ideally, right? If he's not going to get Crawford, if he's not going to get Spence next, right? And Spence is going to fight Ugas. Don't you think, at the very least, the PBC, if they knew that there was an investment to be made with Spence and Crawford, and you got Keith Thurman fighting next month, what fight would you try to make in correlation of making Crawford and Spence a big fight? Do you put Spence in with Keith Thurman, or do you put Crawford in with Keith Thurman? And this is why I feel, I personally, I don't think that the PBC, whatever, I don't think their idea is to match Crawford and Spence at welterweight. And I'm going to get to my point. I feel the PBC are going to keep things in-house as long as they're able to. But for Terence Crawford, he can't wait around. And he shouldn't. He's 34 years old. He has to land the next best fights possible. And I'm going to tell y'all this. This isn't confirmed, okay? But I always listen, I put my ear to the streets. We all, I know a lot of y'all that follow me, follow the crew. A lot of y'all know some of the same people we do, that we talk to, that are in the know. Okay, and this ain't 100% legit confirmed, but I've heard this like dating back 6 months ago. Okay? If Crawford can't land a mega fight at welterweight, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all this. Don't be surprised if he hikes up north and fights the winner of Jermell versus Castano. There have been talks, okay? And I'm gonna say this again as it relates to why the PBC, if they really have to, or I'm saying if they don't have to in the immediate, they're not gonna go outside the bubble. Which again, listen, Crawford is not with Top Rank, but he's not a PBC fighter, okay? But after whoever comes out of Jermell and Castano, that person, let's just say it's Jermell, and I can't even guarantee you that, okay? What fight can Jermell land at 154 under the PBC umbrella that will be a bigger fight than Terence Crawford? Because the thing about it with Spence, if he beats Ugas, I'm telling y'all, man, and if Thurman comes out of there, out of the Barrios fight unscathed, they're gonna. I have a strong feeling they're gonna make that fight next. And I highly doubt Spence is going to fight Ugas, Keith Thurman, and Terence Crawford in a calendar year. But back to the point of Crawford, he can't just sit and do this for a whole calendar year. And I also may mention that from Sean Porter, you got to go up from there. And there's Virgil Ortiz, there's Boots Ennis, but do you guys really feel that either Crawford or Spence are going to fight those guys right now? Would Virgil Ortiz or Boots want to make the money they would make fighting those guys now as opposed to 2 years from now? This is a business, okay? And to that point, Terence Crawford, if he goes to 154, think about it. And I'm going to draw this out for y'all so you can kind of see maybe where I'm going with this. Terence Crawford right now has like one bargaining chip, that WBO belt. Errol Spence has the WBC, the IBF, and he has a little pay-per-view track. But if Terence Crawford goes up to 154, let's just go ahead and say he beats either one of those guys. Crawford would not only have one, not two, not three, but 4 of those belts. And trust and believe, Errol Spence is not sticking around 154 or 147 much longer. I would argue, okay, he fights Ugas and Thurman, and that is it. And I don't think the undisputed and everything will matter at that point if Crawford, drops the WBO belt. But who's to say these guys don't end up fighting at 154? And before people say Crawford's too small and I think he's been proven already, okay? I think 154 would be his cap. But guys, listen. I can name you fighters that have started at 130 that went to 154 and 160. Floyd started at 130, fought all the way to 154. Oscar fought at 130, fought all the way to 160. Cotto, 140 to 160. Roberto Duran, 135, 168. This isn't like foreign territory. And Crawford, to be honest with you, man, is Jermell taller than him? Is Castano taller than him? Yeah. But would you guys, are we prepared to talk about who the stronger, who's the stronger guy here? Again, I'm not here telling y'all Crawford's gonna go in there and win, but to suggest he doesn't have any remote chance of 154 is crazy. And I'm willing to bet I'm willing to bet that they are navigating that whole idea because I think they see what's at 147 and to make money and for it to mean something, there's really nothing there besides Ugas and Spence. So who's Crawford going to fight? Again, this is speculation, right? But again, I got my ears to the streets. I'm hearing things. I'm not the only one that is saying this. But following Jermell and Castano, Crawford needs a big fight. And if he were to go to 154 to fight the champion there, he would be going for a 4th division world title, potentially for undisputed in his first shot. If that, again, now look, this could all blow up anyway, and Thurman looks bad. Or Ugas wins, or Spence beats Ugas. Then at that point, I feel Thurman is the dark horse key here. I feel if he loses to Barrios or looks, let's just say loses, where there's he's not gonna get a shot at Spence. That I feel is where Spence, I don't want to say force, but for him to land a big fight, it's Crawford. So these next couple of months, man, are going to be very, very crucial. I think for Terence Crawford, the lawsuit and everything, I mean, I want to believe his attorneys are handling that. And, he could focus on his career. But at 34 years old, he has to look for the next biggest fights. And to me, if it's not Errol Spence, I think the next biggest fight he can land is the winner of Castano versus Jermell. And y'all would pay to see that. And that's to my point. So let me know what you think, man. Again, this is rumblings going around. Nothing is secure, official, because I think things have, the next couple of months are going to materialize what moves these dudes, particularly Crawford, are going to make. Keep your eye on it. Okay? Let me know what you think. Can Terence Crawford go to 154? And can he beat either Castano or Jermell Charlo? That would be some shit. So let me know what you think, man. Follow us at Guard Boxing on Instagram. Follow me at Roberto_Flack. Facebook.com/GYG Boxing. Like, subscribe, notification bell. You already know. Enjoy your week. Peace.